Breaking news. South Korean weapons exports hit a record high, overtaking European rivals. This headline blasted across global news sites in early 2026. The numbers were just staggering. South Korea's arms industry had raked in billions of dollars, with contracts signed in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. The pace of deals was dizzying, and the world's attention was locked on Seoul. Just a few years ago, South Korea was better known for K-pop and electronics than for tanks and fighter jets. Today, it is rewriting the global playbook on arms sales. The country's rise came quietly at first, but now it's impossible to ignore. Military experts say a new era has begun. So, what's driving this surge? Well, it's not just about business. The world is changing fast, and so are the demands of modern warfare. Countries want weapons that are reliable, affordable, and ready to deploy without years of waiting. South Korea promises all three. Every headline tells a story. But behind the numbers is a deeper truth. The world has discovered a new power in the global arms market. South Korea's transformation into a military export powerhouse was years in the making. The journey began back in the 1970s, when the country faced constant threats from North Korea. To survive, Seoul invested heavily in its own defense industry. Factories built everything from rifles to tanks, and the focus was always on innovation. By the 2000s, South Korean companies like Hyundai Rotem and Hanwha Defense were building weapons as good as anything in the West. The government pushed these firms to look outward, beyond the Korean peninsula. They invested in research and partnered with global defense giants. Their goal was clear: become a top 5 arms exporter. At first, skeptics doubted South Korea could compete with giants like the United States or Russia. But South Korean weapons were soon tested in real-world conditions. Their reliability caught the eyes of foreign militaries. Word spread fast, and soon Seoul received visits from defense ministers across the globe. Today, South Korea is no longer just a buyer of foreign arms. It stands as a major supplier, shaping how wars are fought and won. Why are countries rushing to buy South Korean weapons? It comes down to 3 words: price, quality, and speed. South Korean arms are often 20 to 30% cheaper than Western or Russian models. For countries with limited budgets, that's a deal too good to ignore. But low price doesn't mean low quality. South Korea's tanks, planes, and artillery are built to last. They're tested in rough terrain and harsh weather, meeting NATO standards and sometimes even exceeding them. This reputation for reliability is crucial in a world where military failure can mean disaster. Speed is another big selling point. American and European companies sometimes take years to deliver advanced weapons. In contrast, South Korea can get orders out the door in half the time. Quick delivery is vital when tensions are rising or conflicts loom. This combination, affordable, dependable, and fast, has made South Korean arms, honestly, just irresistible. It's a formula that is changing the balance of power in the global market. Poland made headlines in 2022 with its record-breaking purchase of South Korean tanks and artillery. The deal was worth over $5 billion, making it one of the largest in modern European history. Polish leaders praised the quality and delivery speed, saying, "These arms will defend our people, starting now, not years from now." But Poland is just the start. Countries like Egypt, Norway, the Philippines, and Australia have also signed big contracts. Each has its reasons. For example, Egypt needed modern air defense systems fast. The Philippines wanted to upgrade its navy with South Korean ships. Australia sought new self-propelled howitzers for its army. These deals aren't just about weapons. South Korea often agrees to transfer technology or build local factories. This means jobs and skills for the buyer countries. Such sweeteners make the deals even more attractive. Across continents, the buyers are lining up. South Korea's reputation is growing with every successful delivery. South Korean weapons look sleek on the outside, but, what really sets them apart is what's inside. Take the K2 Black Panther tank, for example. It features advanced ceramics for armor, a 1,500 horsepower engine, and high-tech sensors that rival anything from the United States or Germany. Its suspension system even lets it kneel and lean in rugged terrain, which gives it a real edge in both mobility and survivability. The KF-21 Boramae fighter jet is another standout. Designed for the skies of tomorrow, it has stealthy lines, smart avionics systems, and the ability to carry both Western and Korean missiles. It's built to be affordable but deadly, perfect for countries that want modern air power without a $100 million price tag per plane. Artillery is another Korean strength. The K9 Thunder self-propelled howitzer has a fully automated loading system, GPS targeting, and can fire multiple rounds per minute. Its range and speed are world-class, and honestly, upgrades are constant. This technology is not just for show, it is built to fight and to win on the world's toughest battlefields. So, how do South Korean weapons compare to those from the United States or Russia? Well, the answer is, very well. American weapons are often considered the gold standard, but they come at a high price, sometimes double or even triple that of Korean options. Russian arms, while cheaper, have faced questions about quality and reliability, especially after recent conflicts. South Korean tanks and artillery have really proven themselves in NATO exercises and regional conflicts. They're compatible with Western technology, making them easy to integrate for allied countries. The K2 tank, for example, is lighter than the US Abrams, but nearly as powerful and much cheaper to maintain. When it comes to aircraft, South Korea's KF-21 isn't a fifth-generation fighter like the US F-35, but it offers modern features at just a fraction of the cost. This makes it ideal for countries that want new jets but can't afford, or maybe just don't need, the most advanced stealth planes. In short, South Korean weapons hit a sweet spot, advanced enough for serious defense, but not overpriced or overcomplicated. There's another reason for South Korea's export surge, and that's geopolitics. As tensions rise in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, countries want to diversify their sources of weapons. Some buyers fear relying too much on the US, which can restrict sales for political reasons. Others worry about Russian reliability after sanctions and supply chain shocks. South Korea offers a middle path. It's a US ally but independent enough to strike deals with many countries. Its products come without the strings often attached to American or Russian arms. For buyers in Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, or Africa, this is a big advantage. There's also a strategic dimension here. Countries know that buying South Korean weapons can build closer political and military ties with Seoul, a rising regional power. This can mean joint exercises, technology transfers, or even mutual defense treaties down the line. The world's shifting alliances and insecurities are fueling Korea's ascent as a trusted arms supplier. It's a bright morning in Abu Dhabi. Inside a vast exhibition hall, the world's defense giants are showing off their latest weapons. In one corner, the South Korean booth is buzzing with energy. Delegates from Europe, Africa, and Asia crowd around a life-size model of the K2 tank. A Hanwha defense executive gestures excitedly, explaining the tank's advanced features to a group of generals. Nearby, a signing ceremony unfolds. Polish defense officials and South Korean executives shake hands as cameras flash. Applause echoes through the hall. The deal is done. More tanks and artillery are heading to Eastern Europe. Outside, reporters swarm to get interviews. A Korean engineer demonstrates a drone that can target enemy vehicles miles away. Military attachés nod in approval, taking notes and snapping photos. Deals are whispered over coffee and handshakes. The atmosphere is, honestly, electric. At events like this, the future of global security is negotiated, not just in boardrooms, but right there on the bustling floor of the world's arms bazaars. South Korea's arms industry is really just getting started. Analysts predict that by 2030, it could rank among the world's top 3 exporters. The demand is set to grow as more countries seek reliable, affordable weapons and new alliances. Some even say the Korean tanks and jets may soon appear in places as far away as South America and Africa. Innovation will continue to drive the industry. Companies are already developing next-generation drones, missile systems, and cyber defense tools. The government is investing in artificial intelligence for smarter, faster weapons. Of course, there are challenges too. Competitors will fight to keep their markets, and political risks or global crises could disrupt sales. But if South Korea keeps delivering on its promises, price, quality, and speed, the future looks bright. One thing is clear. South Korea is changing the rules of the game. The world is watching and buying.